Good morning. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
We have one guest in house, McHugh Devitt. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Becky, yes, Becky is going to be our speaker, so she'll be introduced formally. And I'm going to bring up John. How are you, John?
Very well. Good morning, all. Morning. Good morning. Now, normally when I do an inspiration, I have a little music to start. This is a little bit longer inspiration than most. I'm just going to get right to it. So, as you probably know, two of my passions are music and baseball. Another interest that I have is American history, especially the American Revolution and Civil War history. I read about 25 books on the subject, on the Civil War, but I never came across the name of Mary Ann Pickerdike until about 2 months ago. Has anyone heard the name of Mary Ann Pickerdike? Not surprised. Pickerdike. She was a 44-year-old widow from Illinois with 2 kids. She truly was an amazing woman, and this being Archery National Women's was a great story. She was an unsung hero credited with saving thousands of lives. She served in 19 battles, including Shiloh, Vicksburg, Chattanooga, and Sherman's March to the Sea. She built over 300 field hospitals. One legendary story reports that a surgeon stormed into General Sherman's office and demanded that a nurse be fired. The surgeon was furious. This woman had no medical degree, no military rank, no business telling trained doctors how to operate. She broke into locked warehouses. She overruled officers. She even threw incompetent surgeons out of the tents and performed surgeries herself. General Dixon listened to the surgeon's complaint. Then he delivered his verdict. She outranks me, what she says. He was afraid of her. Her story began in early 1861, just after the war began. A desperate plea reached her church from Union soldiers that were stationed in Cairo, Illinois. Disease ravaged the camps. Wounded men lay dying unattended. Food was rotting. Sanitation did not exist. Medical supplies that sat locked in warehouses while soldiers suffered. The church gathered donations and searched for someone brave enough to deliver them to the war zone. Mary Ann volunteered. She planned to drop off the supplies and return home within days, but she stayed for the entire 4 years of the war. What she discovered in Cairo igniting something unstoppable in her. Men lay on bare, filthy floors covered in blood and waste. Infections spread unchecked. Surgeons were often drunk or incompetent. Food was inedible when it existed at all. Wounded soldiers died not from their injuries, but from systematic neglect. Mary Ann didn't ask permission to fix it. She simply began. She built field kitchens and cooked nutritious meals herself. She organized laundry so soldiers had clean bedding. She scrubbed hospital floors on her hands and knees. When medical supplies were locked away by bureaucrats, she broke the locks and took what the patients needed. When a drunken surgeon refused to treat wounded men, like I mentioned before, she physically removed them and performed on them herself. Word of Mother Pickerdike spread like wildfire through the Union ranks. She walked battlefields at night, carrying a lantern, searching through the carnage for wounded men that others had abandoned. Often she was the only woman on the battlefield moving through the smoke and the chaos, organizing hospitals under fire, shouting orders at the colonels, saving lives through absolute refusal to accept preventable death. The soldiers who worshipped her, thousands credited with Mother Pickerdike with saving their lives, not just through her medical skill, but through fierce insistence that they deserved proper care. Ulysses S. Grant supported her unconditionally. William Tecumseh servant became her biggest supporter. She was a widowed mother in her 40s, who was supposed to deliver supplies and quietly disappeared. Instead, she became more powerful than most generals by proving that something that transcends any era. Authority isn't always given. Sometimes it's earned by doing what desperately needs doing when others hesitate. She didn't request better conditions for dying soldiers. She created them. She didn't politely ask for supplies. She took them. She didn't tolerate incompetence that cost lives. She eliminated it. And when the most powerful generals in the Union Army were asked to stop her, they refused because stopping Mary Ann Pickerdike meant letting soldiers die. She broke every rule that stood between wounded men and proper care. Some people don't need rank to lead. They just need courage and an unshakable conviction that lives matter more than protocol. Her story didn't end there, well, I will, because she went on to lead the charge for pensions for the wounded, the soldiers after the war and more. She lived to be 84 years old. Parades were held in her honor after she died at the age of 84 in 1901. Generals get a lot of credit. Without people like Mary Ann Bickerdike, who inspired the men and helped heal thousands, wars could be lost. But that's Mary Ann Bickerdike.
That's great, John. Dan?
Yeah.
How are you today, Dan?
Hey, great. Thank you very much. So I'm very delighted to introduce our speaker today, Becky Martell. Becky's a friend of the club and vice versa. And just to tell you a little bit about her, for the last 31 years, Williston Central Schools has been Becky's professional home. She began her career there as a middle school teacher, and eventually she's expanded her reach by teaching every grade level, from 1st through 8th. 4 years ago, Rebecca was honored to transition into the role of mentor coordinator for Connecting Youth, succeeding Nancy Carlson. Having been part of our community for decades, it's a privilege to lead a program, or Becky says it's her privilege to lead a program that has supported CBSD students for over 25 years. She finds immense joy in strengthening our community by preparing our students with dedicated local mentors. Okay, so I'm very delighted to introduce Becky Martell.
Hello, thank you. It's nice to see so many friendly faces out here. Many of you are mentors or have been and have experience with the program. So for some of you, this is going to be a nice review of what mentoring is all about. But I just want to, start off by, saying thank you so much to the Rotary for the support, the ongoing support that you have given the program. Whether it's in terms of funding books for students, the book fair, or donating money to the Guardian Angel Fund so that we could use that for things that are not necessarily budgeted. Like a pair of, sneakers for a student who wants to play basketball, extra things that are not necessarily covered under the budget. Rockets don't really cut the muster with our budget, so I can sneak those in using the Guardian Angel Fund. So I do have a presentation. I think Vince is going to pull it up. Oh, sorry, thank you. And I just kind of start with you thinking about someone in your life who is not, just to get a feeling what a mentor is, and think of someone who was not a family member of yours, so not a parent, and maybe not even a teacher, but somebody in your world when you were young, all the way back to like middle school. Think about when you were young and someone who made a difference in your life and what those characteristics were. So how did that make you feel? And you don't have to share out, but just spend a couple of seconds just thinking about someone in your world that supported you when you needed it most. Certainly middle school is a rocky time, for all kids. We all experienced it, we know. So just spend a second just thinking about someone that supported you. That's what a mentor is. So if you think of, you had someone in your life that was right there behind you, cheerleading you on, supporting you, hoping that you can, knowing that you can succeed with just that little gentle push. That's what a mentor is. I'm fortunate. I came into this program that was already developed by Nancy Carlson, who was just amazing and continues to support the program just by, being uplifting and being someone I can email if I need to or reach out to. But she started a program that has carried through and is now 59 pairs strong. So I've had up to 62 pairs, but right now, we're at almost 60 pairs. That's 60 volunteers. Many of them are in this room right now. So program doesn't work without volunteers. I pulled this quote. I've got other quotes from students, but I pulled this one because I just love that first bit that was written. I believe it helps kids feel like they have worth. So that stood out. The whole quote is amazing, but this is from a student. And when a student says that, you really know that the program is valuable. And you can go right to the next. So this is sort of, what is mentorship? In a nutshell, it's showing up, it's being a part of a student's life. And it is researched that it improves social communications, it improves their self-esteem, it improves their attendance. Kids rarely miss a mentor day, but beyond that, it helps them to feel that connectedness to school, so they do want to come to school more often. So it's not just the day. It might start with like, I don't want to miss my mentor day, but it certainly turns into, I really feel connected at my school. I have a place, I have a club. So in a nutshell, mentoring is showing up. I had the privilege of sitting with 7 mentors on Tuesday afternoon, and one of the mentors just said an hour a week, and just showing up shows the kids that we're here, and that one particular student that the mentor is someone who has their back, who is not connected to any academics, they're not connected to family, although mentors get to meet the families, which is important, but they are there for just that student. And that student gets to be the leader of what happens. That hour is theirs, so it gives them the autonomy to make choices on their own and to say, hey, let's do play some ping pong. It's play-based, it's all game-based. Mentoring is designed to be that way because, as you know, if you've had kids, if they're doing something, they're talking. If they're not, they may not be as open, so they will chat. And this isn't about therapy or digging in deep into their lives. It's really about just being there and playing with them and showing them that you care enough to listen to them. And then that's when the conversations really open up. So it's kind of, in a nutshell, it's, kids know that you're volunteering to come in and be a part of their world. So these are some of the stats. Some of them are a bit old, but they still apply. It's students feeling about mentoring, why they enjoy it. So beyond these statistics, I was doing the math when I was talking with the mentors on Tuesday afternoon. I was thinking about how many kids are in the program. It's 59 kids. There are roughly 450 kids in the middle school. So it's more than a tenth of all of the kids in the middle school are in the mentor program. They're nominated by teachers, staff, parents, and they nominate themselves. So I have, a wait list that's still, 10 strong or more. And, every year I have, maybe 40 or 50 more nominations. And oftentimes it's kids. And I'll have some students nominate their friends. So the stats are great and they come directly from the kids. But I know, because I'm sitting in my office when a student comes in and says, I got this friend that I think would really benefit from mentoring. That's pretty powerful and pretty impressive. I can hear everything that is happening in the hallway because where my office is, and I've heard kids say, I just want a mentor. Now, not, every student needs a mentor. Yes, we can't possibly make that happen. It's too bad, but 60 is pretty good, a pretty good number right now. And then these are some of their quotes. You can see I pulled that quote from here, but the last quote I also really like, if you take a gander at them, but I really like I can't explain it. It's just great. That was probably a 5th or a 6th grader, but it just makes that, to me, wraps it all. That sort of sums it all up in really simple terms. I just really love being there. Even if, you come in one day and your mentor seems a little off or maybe just a little titch surly, they're showing up. Very few kids even need reminders after they get going with their mentor because they're already looking forward to that time. And I should actually have some parent quotes as well up here now. I might add that to the slides next time because I have had a lot of parents call and just say, this has been fantastic, which to me really speaks volumes about what the kids are saying at home. And when they're taking school home, that means something's working. They're talking about it at home. And there's so much trust with families. They value this program within their community. So I did ask those 7 folks that I was able to sit down with on Tuesday for some mentoring advice. What would you say to someone who's either thinking about mentoring or is a new mentor? And their advice was pretty spot on. I certainly paraphrased them because I didn't write their quotes down. But you can see one mentor said she sort of feels selfish because she enjoys it so much that it feels like it's almost for her, and that tends to be the feeling that people have when they come to play ping pong and they leave after a session with their student at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's a little hop in their step, I think. And just knowing that you're a part of something and also getting to know a younger generation kind of keeps us all relevant a little bit. You don't know what a K-pop demon hunter is unless you've been in a school. I guess I'm schooled every day by a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader telling me what the latest trend is. Thank you. So again, a few more statistics about what the research says about mentoring, and what mentors say about mentoring as well. It's our community, this mentor program, and it's across CVS state. So there's a program in Williston, Shelburne, Charlotte, and Heinsberg. And there's one other in the state, but it's definitely the largest. And there are only a couple of school-based programs. We're considered to be, even on the national level, a unicorn because it's supported in our communities. There are not very many school-based programs left, even in the nation, certainly in Vermont. So we are really fortunate, and I think the thanks go out to our communities who continue to support the program, on town meeting day. That's really very clear that this is a program that this community values, that Heinsberg, Charlotte, and Shelburne value. And with that, we're able to continue to sustain this program. Over 25 years of mentoring is pretty impressive. We work closely with Mentor Vermont, and we're sort of not just their unicorn, but like their bread and butter in many ways because it's so big. There are about 150 mentor pairs in our district. So they work really closely with us to continue to help us to create such a quality program. And this, I just think is before we get to the video, this is a great quote from Brene Brown, and just that connection that we all need in our world. It doesn't matter if you're a middle schooler, a high schooler, a parent, we all need to make connections and to feel valued and wherever we are. This group is one example of that, feeling that connectedness as a Rotarian, gives you that purpose and the desire to get up at 7:15 in the morning and come and have a bagel with friends. And that's the same feeling that kids have in schools. And the idea that there are students in our school that don't feel that connection, it certainly is disheartening. It makes me feel sad that you might think that at the end of the year when we ask students to fill out evaluations, that there's some students that say they don't have a trusted adult in a school. That shouldn't be the case. Kids should always have a trusted adult in the school, at least one. And when I read the results of the evaluations, I always look for my students, our students, they're in the program, and they tend to say, they might say their mentor or their teacher, but they have now a connected adult, which feels good. And it feels that's the way every student should feel. You should come into school feeling like someone in that school is there for you and that you can go to them. And if even just one student says they don't have a trusted adult, that's one too many. So I do have a video. It's on this last slide, and then I'll take some questions and comments. It's about 5 minutes, so it's a titch long, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I said it so that we could hear the sound, so let me just fix that. Sorry. Didn't realize there was one.
And this is a smattering of all of the mentor programs in our district.